It's fair to say that Jose Mourinho is not having the best time of it at the moment, so who better to face next than his former club Chelsea? Ahead of this weekend's monster clash of Mourinho's current and former club, we've decided to put together a Chelsea and Manchester United 11. So here it is in a 4-3-3 formation. Up first, we start with number one, because where else would you start? And to be honest, it can't be anyone other than David De Gea. From Manchester United side, Sergio Romero's out injured and definitely isn't better than De Gea. And from Chelsea side, well, Kepa hasn't quite kicked De Gea out of the national squad yet, so it'd be pretty hard to put him ahead of him in this kind of team. Elsewhere, Willy Caballero is definitely not fit to fill the role. Regardless of whether or not he'll be leaving soon, he's United's number one for the moment and takes the spot in this team. Moving into a four-man defence, and it's no surprise that it's basically Chelsea's defence, because let's be honest, United's this season has been pretty poor. In the right-back position, there is no Antonio Valencia. The club captain's not only had a fallout with Jose Mourinho, but doesn't really look like the player he once was. Alongside that, Diego Dalot is a promising youngster but isn't quite there yet. So, with Chelsea, it's Cesar Azpilicueta. Now, he's been playing as the right of three centre-backs in the last few years, but has returned to his normal position at right-back under Maurizio Sarri. This meant that Victor Moses, who was great at wing-back, because he had protection and wasn't so good defensively, has had to drop out of the Chelsea squad and so can't really be considered for this one. At right-back, it's Cesar Azpilicueta, more affectionately known as Dave. Moving into the left-back position, well, Marcos Alonso's had a pretty good start to the season for Chelsea, but it's going to be Manchester United's Luke Shaw who takes the spot after his sort of revamping in that position. He's basically been bullied by Jose Mourinho in the last 2 years after his horrific leg break, but getting back to fitness, getting back to form, and the new contract is on the cards, meaning that he's looking pretty good at the moment. So he takes this left-back spot ahead of his teammate Ashley Young, who's doing pretty well, but at the age of 32, his career is on the downward slide. Into the centre-back position, and having looked at who's in form and who's actually playing, it can really only be two players. This means that there's no room for Bailly, no room for Lindelof, Smalling or Jones. They haven't been consistently playing, they haven't struck up a partnership with one another, and individually they're pretty poor. As for Chelsea, Gary Cahill looks years past his best, and Christensen hasn't got into the team due to the form of David Luiz and Rudiger. It's those two who have done well at Stamford Bridge in their fantastic start to the season, so it's those two who take the centre-back spots and complete this four-man defence. Moving into the three centre midfield positions, and this is where it gets quite difficult because there's such an abundance of talent, regardless or not whether they're actually playing that well at the moment. Starting off though, it has to be N'Golo Kante. There is no one better in the world at what he does than him. This means the likes of Scott McTominay, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Marouane Fellaini are all out. They may not be playing in the exact same position as him, but they're not taking over anyone else's spot in this centre midfield, so I'm just sort of listing out who's missing rather than the precise position they're playing in. Alongside him is Chelsea new man Jorginho, who's already broken the pass record for a game in the Premier League twice since signing from Napoli in the summer. He's such a fantastic player that it was really difficult to leave him out of this squad, and he's been keeping the likes of Drinkwater, Fabregas and even Kovacic out of the team, although they've sometimes played together, so when it comes to this team I had to keep Jorginho in there. But alongside those two, there is one more player in this midfield position, and you've guessed it, it's Paul Pogba. Regardless of whether you think it's his fault that Manchester United are doing so poorly, it's Mourinho's fault, it's both of theirs fault. The guy is a phenomenal talent. As for the other options at Manchester United, well, Matic, Herrera and new signing Fred are all pretty good players, especially Fred actually, but I can't really justify putting them in ahead of Kante and Jorginho, and when it comes to the best midfield player at Manchester United, it is Paul Pogba, so he's going to go in this mixed 11. Now moving on to the front three, and it becomes more of a contentious issue, and it's something that I'd love you guys to get involved with as well. So don't forget at the end of this video to put your mixed 11 of Chelsea and Manchester United down in the comments section. But we're going to start off on the right wing, where I've gone with Pedro. I've put him in there ahead of Willian, who he started and played in way more games than this season, and also ahead of Jesse Lingard, who despite his dynamic sort of unpredictable play, he doesn't quite fit in the right hand side role, and he hasn't been playing consistently enough for Manchester United due to some injuries. Now on the left hand side, we have three Manchester United players who are literally the three names that are brought up whenever it seems that Jose Mourinho doesn't know how to handle an attacking player. His sort of defensive ethos around the team has meant that Marcus Rashford, Anthony Martial and Alexis Sanchez all seem to have forgotten how to attack. Don't even get me started on Sanchez, he's not worth the money. But when it comes to Martial and Rashford, we want to see these young players express themselves and just do what they do best. However, for me and for probably most Premier League fans, no matter what they do, they will not be able to overtake Eden Hazard. His start to the season has been nothing short of spectacular, so when it came to putting in a left winger in this team, he was pretty much the first player throughout the whole squad, never mind just in this position. He'd get into any team in the world, in my opinion, at the moment, so he's definitely slotting into this one. And when it comes to striking options, well, there are two guys who I think are worthy of a place, but again, it comes down to the potential and, to be honest, the all-round better player rather than someone who's just having a good start to the season. As for Alvaro Morata, he's none of those. He's absolutely terrible, and to be honest, Real Madrid are laughing that they managed to get 60 million off Chelsea for him last summer. He's a decent player, but he's nowhere near the top level that he should be at the moment, so he can sit on the bench or might not even make the squad for this one. As for the front two, well, it's between the Belgian frontman Lukaku and French World Cup winner and all-round sexy man Olivier Giroud. As for Lukaku, well, he scored 4 goals this term, far more than Giroud. However, Giroud has 4 assists, and not only are these assists crucial to Chelsea, he also appears to be bringing out the best in Eden Hazard, which means that for the team play, he's absolutely crucial to what they do. But going with the best striker, and I know you're going to have a lot to say about it, comment section down below, it's got to be Romelu Lukaku. The guy's an absolute unit, and on his day is one of the most unplayable players in the Premier League. So there you have it. There's my Chelsea-Manchester United combined 11. But as mentioned before, let me know what you think in the comment section below and smash the like button whilst you're there. Also, don't forget to click here to check out all the other videos that we've got going on OneFootball over the coming weeks, months and season. Until next time, I'll see you guys later.